This is an old house. There's bound to be bumps in the night. Come to bed.
This is Scotty and Andrew, and you're listening to Fun with Horror.
Hey everybody, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Scotty.
And welcome to episode 99, oh my gosh, of Fun with Horror. It's the movie review podcast in which two long-distance best friends give each other horror movies to watch, and then we discuss them the following episode. We only have one rule here at Fun with Horror, and that is we both have to watch the movie that we picked.
That's true. And last week was my choice, and I chose the pretty much brand new movie Cobweb. It's directed by Samuel Bodin, and it stars Lizzy Caplan, Antony Starr, and Woody Norman, as well as Cleopatra Coleman.
Yeah, dude.
And of course, stay tuned to the end of this episode to hear what we're going to be doing for episode 100. Hello, my best friend.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm okay this week. I'm okay.
Good. You look good.
Nobody could tell, but last week was a little bit of a struggle for me.
Right. Yes.
But I felt like our Dolls episode was okay.
Yeah, I think it was great.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm tired. I mentioned this earlier. I'm tired today, man. I'm gonna try and liven up for this so people aren't bored. It's my answers.
Nobody could ever be bored with you.
You'd be surprised.
No, I wouldn't, because it's impossible.
Stop it.
I've been next to you before.
You have been next to me before. Yeah, we're kind of. I'm just noticing too our shirts. Although mine doesn't say Jaws, we have the gray. Yeah, kind of black, same style.
Baseball tees.
Yeah, baseball tees, dude. Mine doesn't say Jaws though. Yours is awesome.
This is brand new. This is the first time I've worn this.
Yeah.
And funny enough, before we get into our movie, I want to tell you, strangely enough, I'm wearing this shirt because I just got it from Cavity Colors.
Yeah, dude.
I recently bought Jaws' 2, 3, and 4 because they were really cheap on Apple.
Nice.
And strangely enough, last night, I wouldn't say I was having a really down day, but, so-so.
Mm-hmm.
And putting on Jaws 3D was strangely very comforting. Have you seen them all?
I've only ever seen the first movie, man. I've never seen any of the other ones. I know.
You should watch at least Jaws 2.
Yeah, I know. That's one I do want to see.
If you watch it, keep in mind that a lot of the movie on the beach was shot in my hometown.
Really?
Pensacola Beach.
That's awesome.
I went to Gulf Breeze High School, and there is a band playing in a building, let's just say, at the beginning of the movie. That is the Gulf Breeze High School band. I wasn't part of it. I was really young at that point.
Right.
And the place that they're in is an old Holiday Inn.
Random.
There. And my parents used to take me to brunch there, and they would make me Mickey Mouse pancakes.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, it felt really new. And I'll tell you one thing that we never saw there at that Holiday Inn was
Sharks.
A bunch of No. No, you could see sharks for sure.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying it was really clean, so there wasn't a lot of dirt and cobwebs.
I'm going to be your teacher now.
That's right. Your mom here, she's going to teach you the 3 R's, Pete. You know what they are? Reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Everybody listening, as Scotty mentioned at the beginning, he picked a very new movie, Cobweb, which came out this year very recently. So if you have not had a chance to watch it yet, which is understandable if you haven't, we're going to spoil this movie. We're going to talk about everything. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, pause the podcast right now, go rent it or buy it, listen or watch it, then come back and listen to the rest. But if you're okay with spoilers, stay here. We want you here all the time. That being said, buddy, I want you to know something.
Tell me.
We need a 3-minute recap. However, I may have found someone that I haven't seen in a long time, and they may be after you if you don't do this 3-minute recap in under 3 minutes.
Wait, so somebody you haven't seen in a long time implies that you've seen them before.
Dang it. Doesn't quite work. I was really trying to do this without, because I can't. I had a better one, but it would spoil it.
Who's waiting outside my door?
I don't know. Someone creepy.
Oh wait. Oh my god, dude. I just looked out my door and it's Homelander from
There
the
we
TV
go.
show The Boys.
There we go. That's
played by the actor Antony Starr, who is also in Cobweb.
Perfect. There we go. I told you I'm tired. I'm on my B game today, buddy.
All right, well, you ready?
Yeah. Are you ready for a 3-minute recap, man?
I'm ready for a 3-minute. I think. I don't know. We'll see.
I think you are. Whenever you're ready, tell us about it.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Okay, Cobweb is about basically a little boy, and his name is Peter, and he lives in a house with his 2 parents. The movie starts to take place about a week before Halloween. Peter is bullied at school, but also he starts hearing noises in his room in the middle of the night. What could it be? Is it a ghost? Who knows? He hears knocking on the wall. He hears voices, yet his parents just tell him, "It's your imagination, Peter. Go to bed." Well, things happen. The voice keeps going. The bullying keeps going. Peter gets knocked down at school carrying a pumpkin in a moment very reminiscent of Halloween 1. Also, so the voice in Peter's room tells him that he needs to get revenge on this bully that's doing things to him. So what does Peter do? In a crazy moment, Peter pushes this kid down the stairs, and the kid falls all the way down the stairs, gets a very broken leg, and Peter is expelled from school. Well, his parents are very unhappy about it. His parents, Carol and Mark. At another point, his substitute teacher sees a painting that Peter's done, and it says, "Help me." And Peter's talking about the person in his wall, but she thinks Peter's talking about himself. So she goes to his house. Anyway, after he gets expelled, his parents lock him in the basement, and the substitute teacher comes back again while he's locked in the basement, but she doesn't hear Peter because of the laundry machine. Oh my God. Peter keeps hearing the voices. The voice eventually tells Peter to look at this hole in the wall where he can see her. She tells him that she is his sister and that his parents have locked her in the walls and that he has to do something. So Peter, let's jump forward a little bit, poisons his parents and kills them, and it's incredible. He poisons them with rat poison. They both die. Peter goes to take his sister out of the wall, and his mother says, in her dying breath, says, "Don't do it. Don't let her out." Meanwhile, the bully has gotten his older brothers or whatever to come to the house on Halloween night to do whatever, scare Peter, hurt him. They show up. Peter opens the wall. This horrific person comes out. She's like this monster, and she has tricked Peter into letting her out. She goes around the house. She kills all the kids and the bully. The substitute teacher shows up at the house, and the sister locks Peter in the wall, and then the substitute Peter gets Peter out. Substitute teacher gets Peter out, and then there's this whole thing, and they lock up the sister in the basement, and then Peter lives with fear. That's the end.
That is the end. Well done. You got it out, man. I like it.
I think I got it out. I kind of summarized the ending, but we'll go into more detail.
Yeah, we will talk about it.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Check your window. Did Homelander fly away?
He definitely. I heard him. I heard this.
Okay.
Like as he, that
Sonic
noise.
boom.
That. Yeah, that's it. That's the one I was talking about.
I'm there for you, buddy.
As I was for you.
Yay!
Look at us.
Together as one. All right, man. I think the question, though, on everyone's minds, everyone in the world, what did you think of Cobweb?
Let me tell you, buddy, this is not a perfect movie.
Mhm.
However, I don't care because I loved it.
Hey, right on.
Yeah, I absolutely had a great time watching this movie. I loved it. What did you think, my friend?
I thought it was pretty good. But like you said, it's not a perfect movie, so we'll definitely chat about that. But it was pretty good. There were some cool moments, man.
From your response right there,
Yes.
I'm starting to think that maybe the things that may bother us or you or me don't bother me in the long run. Maybe bother
Right.
you a little bit more.
Yeah, probably. That's probably true.
So let's get started. Let's talk about this movie. Tell me something that bothered you.
Okay. So
Do
I
you
guess
have
my
questions?
Yeah, I do have questions. I'm going to start with questions because I have a couple. So question number 1, did the parents kill the girl that went missing?
Absolutely.
For sure then? Because I know we saw the skeleton, but the sister lies a lot. So I was like, I don't know if I believe her.
I mean, she lies a lot, but I believed her at that point. I believe
Okay.
that because the parents were crazy too.
Right.
And I believe that what the sister told him at that time was true, that the little girl showed up to the door. The sister had somehow gotten free of her, whatever she was doing. She asked the little girl to help her. The parents saw that the little girl saw the sister. So the parents took the little girl, killed her, buried her in the backyard.
All right.
I mean, there was a skull in the backyard.
There was. And that's why I was like, it would make sense. But I'm like, but she's lied about everything. So I'm like, or not lied, but manipulated, I should say.
Yeah.
So I was like, did they do it? Okay.
I mean, who else would that have been?
We'll find out in a sequel. Or prequel. Question numero dos. Is this girl a demon? She's got some freaky powers, man. What is she?
Okay, that's the issue I had with the movie too.
Okay.
I asked our friend Edward this exact same question, and it's not that I don't feel like she really had amazing powers except for the ability to crawl on the wall
Right.
and ceiling.
Right.
The only thing I think that's where the movie misses. The only thing I can figure is that she has long claws and she uses them.
Right.
But the movie doesn't do a good job of showing that. Edward said that she is a mutation.
Right.
They say that.
Yeah. Yep.
Edward gave the theory that maybe she is part spider. That's maybe she's got sticky hands, but I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
I thought about that, but it's something that I had so much fun with all the scenes involving her that and in the end I didn't care.
That's fair. And then my last, it's not a question, but I guess my big quibble was, and we've talked about this numerous times.
Yeah.
Is whenever we see the monster, it's less scary, like when our imagination runs a little more wild when we don't see. And for this one, it was the same thing for me. Like when we saw her, and I'll say this, like the mask, or because it was a mask. I watched a little bit of the special features.
Look at you,
me, right? Yeah, well, but it was a mask, and it was a really cool mask. And I was like, I even said to Cindy, because I watched it with Cindy and Kylie, and I was like, man, if I saw that mask on Halloween, like someone wearing it just trick or treating, I'd be like, that's awesome. That is insanely cool. For the movie, though, for some reason, I thought, I was like, that's odd. Like, it's a really cool mask. The design is great. But I don't know. When I saw it, I was just like, that's kind of weird. And so it kind of took me out a little bit, where I was like, all right. And that was, I think, one of my biggest quibbles was was towards the end, once we saw her, I was like, I'm not as scared anymore.
I disagree.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not because it made me less scared. I really wasn't super scared. It was more tension for me.
I agree. Same with me.
What is she going to do?
Right.
I had a feeling she wasn't going to kill the substitute teacher, Miss Divine.
Yeah, I agree.
Just from the part where she just sliced her legs. I just had a feeling Miss Divine would get out with Peter.
Yep.
Unless the movie was going to have a real downer of an ending, which I'm totally okay with, but it didn't.
Yeah.
When they finally showed her face, I felt like they did it in such a amazing way that I loved it.
All right. Totally fair.
Because there was a long time where all you saw was her hair, and it's covering her entire face most of the time.
Right.
And it's not until I think when she's in the pit, the cage with Peter, that you finally see her face. And even then you don't see it like well lit or anything. It's still in shadow and you just see features of her face.
Fair.
And I loved the design of the face, so I thought it was awesome.
And see, I think maybe part of it, it just hit me when we were talking about this, was I think I might know why. is because she looked very similar. There's a fantastic manga / anime, terrible Netflix movie called Death Note. It's about essentially a journal, a Grim Reaper, essentially. But the Grim Reapers in the anime is called a Shinigami, and one of the main Shinigami in it looks a lot like her. Now I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, maybe that's what it was. Subconsciously, I was like, oh, I've seen this design before.
Okay. No,
That
that's
might be
totally
it. I don't
fair.
know. Yeah.
To me, she resembled a creepypasta viral thing called, I think it's called Momo.
Yep,
Yeah.
totally.
So maybe a cross between Momo and Shinigami.
Yeah, maybe. I like
Did I say that right?
You did, yeah. And
yes.
assuming I'm saying it right. That's I think how they always say it.
Yeah, I thought about that, but again, it just kind of didn't bother me. I was like, okay, that's cool.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. But like I said, I mean, if I saw that mask in person, I think it's a really cool mask. It is a very cool mask. But I don't know, it didn't hit me.
That's
like I was
fine.
hoping it would. That's all.
That is completely fair, my friend.
Thanks, buddy.
It's about time we don't agree on something.
Yeah, gosh. Now it's
God.
a podcast.
Yeah, now it is.
You're
wrong.
I'm done. I think other than that, though, that's all. I just wrote, because I'm a dork. I hate the term cuz. Anyone that says that about their cousin makes me mad. Just like, I don't know many people that would be like, hey, cuz, to try and like imply like, oh, this is my cousin. I don't know. But in this movie, they did it once, and I was like, me. That's it.
Ruined the entire movie for you.
Yeah, I was done. I was like, no, don't say that.
But you like the rest of the movie?
I did. Yeah, I really did. Yeah. I thought it was eerie. A very eerie movie. Yeah, well, let's hear your gripes, though, because we'll get into the good.
I think I think I already hit them.
Okay.
I might come up with a few quibbles as we go along.
Right.
But because I want to talk about, oh my God. First of all, the music and the cinematography were unbelievable to me.
I would agree.
The music was done by Drum and Lace, which is a composer named Sophia Alessandri Holtquist. And she has done some TV series. She did the Dickinson series on Apple TV, I believe.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But I just thought the music was incredible.
Very. And it was I'm trying to think. It set the mood. Like it really did for this movie. It really, and even I remember last week you said because neither of us knew much about this, but you said I've heard it gets you ready for the spooky season. So you said it might be around Halloween, which it was. And hearing the music and then seeing the what it said Halloween or something like that, I was like, ooh, yeah, this works.
Yeah. Also, the cinematography, which was done by Philip Lozano, who actually he's done a lot of little independent movies that I've never heard of.
Okay.
But that guy has a huge career ahead of him.
Yep.
Because the color and the cinematography was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Just the opening credits where he was just showing pieces of the town and of the house.
Yeah. And
then he showed the pumpkin patch that they have in the backyard, and it just looked so beautiful.
Yep. That would be Oh, sorry. I totally interrupted you.
It's okay. I was just going to say it was a little bit desaturated, but everything was just so perfectly framed.
Yep.
I loved it.
No, I was just going to say that shot of the pumpkins in the house would be such a cool poster. I mean, it's beautiful. Beautiful. I loved it.
This movie had some unanswered questions, which...
Yes, lay it on me.
I'm not sure. I don't really mind. I just don't mind. First of all, why did they have a pumpkin patch in their backyard?
Right. Yeah, that's true. Especially for people that weren't going to celebrate Halloween, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's be fair. I think they stopped celebrating Halloween 3 years back.
That's right. When the girl went, quote unquote, missing. Right.
Because the little girl saw the sister.
Right.
Okay. Now I've got it.
Okay.
I've got it, buddy. My biggest quibble.
I have one more too. You go first.
Might be the same thing.
Okay.
Let's see. The second time I watched the movie, because of course I watched it twice, once for enjoyment, second for notes.
Right.
I started thinking about the sister. When she gets out at the end of the movie, she's pretty powerful, right?
Right. That's true.
There's a shot of the mom, Lizzy Caplan, by the way, playing Carol. Amazing.
Yeah.
Opening up the grandfather clock in their bedroom which
Mhm.
leads to a locked door, and she's got a water pitcher. So you kind of think that she opens that locked door to feed or give water to the sister periodically. Why does the sister need Peter? I would
a
have
good
liked to
point.
have seen some reason that the sister just didn't massacre the parents to get out.
That's true. That's a good point.
Also,
Huh.
the wall seemed pretty thin.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
When Cleopatra Coleman breaks through the wall to get Peter out of it near the end,
Yeah.
she gets through pretty quickly.
Yeah, she gets in there real fast. Yeah.
And if
That's
you
true.
noticed, the sister is able to decapitate a person with basically one quick swipe. So
That's a good point, man.
I just that's stretching the limits of believability with this movie, is the fact that the
Right.
sister just didn't decide to somehow get out of the walls.
That's true. Huh. Good point.
What was
That
your
was-
other quibble?
So my quibble, I don't know why I didn't have this there, was the ending. So I'm fine with pretty ambiguous now. I mean, there's some I don't, but I think through this podcast, I've gotten way better at ambiguous endings. I'm okay with them for the most part. This one, though, I just felt was so abrupt to me. And I don't know. I just, because like they put her in, they put her back in her cage or dungeon
Yes.
or whatever it is. And then she's like, you'll always have fear. And they kind of show that clip of like what could happen or maybe does happen. I don't really know. But then it just cuts. And I was like, I don't know. I just felt with this one, I was like, even all of us were watching, we're like, oh, here we go. And then it just cut. And I was like, oh, I wanted this one I felt like for me, and I think we're disagreeing on this, but I wanted a little epilogue. I wanted something to tie some things up. And it would have been fine to have an open-ended epilogue of like, I don't know, her hand coming through the cage, whatever. I don't know. But like, I don't know. I just wanted some little bookend.
We're disagreeing on this.
Yeah, I figured.
I felt that was the bookend, and I loved it. I loved the idea that they locked her in the cage,
Mm-hmm.
but no matter where Peter would go, he would constantly, every night, go to bed wondering if that was the night that she was going to show up.
Right.
Because she hated Peter. She was jealous of Peter.
Right.
So that I felt was a perfect kind of ominous, scary ending. Because that's
fair.
terrifying. The idea of going to bed every night,
That's
just
true.
scared to death, you wouldn't be able to sleep ever.
That's true.
So I did like it, and it was nice. I felt it left it open for a sequel, because if you think about the implications of everything, there's a bunch of dead bodies in that house.
Right. Yeah.
There is this mutated woman locked in this cage in the basement. The
Mhm.
cops are going to find it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They're going to let her out. I could see the sequel right now. They let her out. They take her to a hospital
Yeah.
where they try to care for her. She acts all, she freaks out when they try to cut her hair. And then the next thing you know, Peter's a little bit older and is scared to death, and she shows up again.
Boom.
And he has to deal with her again.
Write the writers once the strike is over and tell them what's up. Okay.
That's a great segue, Andrew, to
Lay it
just
on
once
me.
again reiterate that we support the writers and the actors in the strikes.
Yeah, we do.
Studios need to get off their asses and pay them so we can get to seeing some movies that aren't being delayed until next year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stupid studios.
Get it together.
AMPTP, come on. Back to the movie, though. Yeah, I love the ending.
Fair. That's fair. That's totally fair. I think that's good. I'm glad you like it. I felt like I just wanted some bookend or something. I don't know. Something different, maybe.
I hear you.
I don't know.
You wish there was a better bookend for you. And I
Right,
thought that
yeah.
I thought that bookend was perfect.
There you go. Just like that.
Did you catch the name of the town?
Shoot. No.
Holdenfield.
Oh.
Ah,
Wah, wah.
I love
Nice.
that. Nice little homage to, of course, Haddonfield from Halloween.
Of course. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like you said, of course, the homage with him and the pumpkin.
Yeah.
That's great. I love it.
But that leads to not necessarily a quibble, but a little bad continuity thing that I noticed in the movie.
Mm.
So in the way the movie, in the pacing of the movie, in the order that things happen in the movie,
Got it.
he goes home, and when Cleopatra Coleman, when Miss Divine comes to the house with the picture, Peter has
Mhm.
not been pushed down yet. Yet when Carol goes up to Peter's room and confronts him about the picture that he drew, the
Mhm.
help me picture,
Right.
Peter has a scrape on his chin.
We caught that same thing.
Yeah.
We caught that same thing. I didn't write it down, but yeah, we were like, why is he scratched up? That's weird.
So I think in the original script, I think that is supposed to happen after he gets knocked down.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe when they were editing it, they figured that, oh, this works better if he knocks the kid down right after his sister says something to him and whatever.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
his chin was already scraped, but it doesn't get really scraped until he gets knocked down.
That's true. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, we said the same thing. We're like, that's weird.
Did you notice that he got knocked down?
But
Did he get up again?
I knew where you were going with
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, buddy.
He'll probably piss the night away, man.
Did you notice that this movie was produced by many people, but Seth Rogen as well?
I did see that at the beginning. I was like, whoa, that's random, but cool.
From what I read, it's the first horror movie he's produced or helped produce.
Wow. I wondered too. I feel like maybe I'm just thinking, I don't know, maybe I'm grasping at straws, but I feel like he and Lizzy Caplan have worked together on something before.
Maybe.
Well, I know obviously he produces The Boys.
He does. Okay.
And so
I was wondering that.
That makes sense, but I feel like he also worked with Lizzy for something. I might be wrong.
Well, let's talk about Lizzy Caplan and Antony Starr.
Dude, let's talk about them.
So good.
Both are awesome in this. Incredible.
So you've seen at least some of The Boys.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen like half of the first season-ish, probably.
The sad thing is that last episode when I was saying who was in this movie, I saw the name Antony Starr and it didn't register in my head.
Uh-huh.
And then when I started watching the movie, I was like, oh, of course, that's who Antony Starr is. Of course. Right. And I loved that. I loved he was in this movie.
Yeah, me too. I know. It's nice to see him. And I mean, he's still playing a bad dude, but it's nice to see him in something else too, as like a not superhero.
Yeah.
Type person.
And Lizzy Caplan, I almost guarantee that she got offered this part or got auditioned for this part because of her role in Castle Rock season 2. I don't think you saw that, right?
No, but I know she plays Misery.
Yeah, Annie Wilkes.
Yeah, Annie Wilkes.
Yeah, and she's so good.
Mm-hmm.
She plays an unhinged woman so well in that movie.
Nice.
And she almost at times very much resembled that same exact part in this movie.
Nice. Yeah.
So that was great.
I don't really, like we said, I've not seen it. I know she plays the character, but for me watching this, it was almost because not always, but I feel like Lizzy Caplan is typecast sometimes as kind of the sarcastic character. Like if you look at Mean Girls or any of those, I mean, a lot of times she is. And so when she was doing this role of sort of this, like what I would describe her as almost like a Carrie type mother, I was like, this is different. I was like, it kind of caught me off guard. I was like, she's acting weird. Like not her acting, but like you know what I mean? She's just acting strange.
I know what you mean.
When I realized, I was like, oh, she's like, this is a new character that I've not really seen her play. Like it caught me off guard, but I was on board with it. I was like, good. I want to see her in other stuff where she can kind of spread her acting wings. So,
well, if you ever decide to watch Castle Rock, it's season 2 is really good.
We watched the first season.
Okay.
Season
okay.
2.
Yeah. Season 2 is good. I think I like season 2 better than season 1.
Okay.
Mainly because of her.
Nice.
Cleopatra Coleman, who we remember from Infinity Pool.
Yes, sir. Was
very good.
Yep. She's great.
She was fine.
Yep.
But Woody Norman as Peter.
Dude. Yeah.
What an amazing child actor.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember. I should have written it down. I feel like in one of the interviews or something, he might have an accent.
He does. He's British.
Right. He hides. Honestly, everyone in this movie, because even Antony Starr, I think, has an accent as well, but I might be wrong. Does he not?
I don't think so.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, no, not Antony Starr. No, it's Cleopatra Coleman. She's Australian.
Oh, okay.
And she has a pretty thick accent, but both of them hit it very well. I was shocked.
Well, especially a kid that age, like a kid that age that can do an American accent as well as he did.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Very, very
I guess
good,
he was in a movie with Joaquin Phoenix called Come On, Come On.
Oh, I don't know it.
Yeah, I actually found an interview with him it was him and the director Samuel Bodin on YouTube. And it was kind of freaky because I had just finished watching the movie in which he's young and he's got this high pitched
Right.
voice because he's young. And all of a
Right.
sudden, this interview, puberty has hit.
Oh,
And
whoa, yeah.
he's just got this deep voice. So it's like, okay, cool.
Right on.
He's growing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he was actually absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I do want to touch base, though. I know we just kind of talked about him for a second, but Antony Starr, who, if you've watched The Boys, you know that he can play a scary person. But I feel like in this one, during that whole kind of beginning section of the movie, I mean, it's more grounded than.
Yeah.
He was menacing. Like, he scared me. He scared me. And not as like a slasher killer type character, but as a very scary dad. Like, I mean, he was scary.
Especially the scene where Peter was locked in the basement and
Yep.
Miss Divine comes over.
With the hammer. I was so nervous.
There was the hammer, but then especially the second time when I watched it, I loved his delivery when she's like, I heard a noise. What's that noise? And he just looks at her and he goes, the washing machine. The way he says the
Yeah.
washing machine, 3 words, but the way he says it is so perfect.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Gosh.
He's so good.
Plays. Yeah. He's very good and very scary.
I liked that I knew nothing at all going into this movie.
Me too. I agree.
And let me tell you something, friend.
Lay it on me.
I came so close because I bought this on iTunes, on Apple. And when I put it on Apple TV, you know, the title screen comes up and you can either watch the movie or go to the special features. I'm so glad I didn't go to the special features.
Yep. I get why.
You know why?
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll just go to the special features page just to see what's available before I watch a movie. But man, I didn't. I watched
Good.
the movie and then I went to look at the special features. And the first thing you see
Yeah.
is a still frame of her face.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
I was so glad I didn't know what she looked like.
This is a good lesson for later movies, buddy. Just
Yes. Well, it's just a good reinforcement also of my no spoiler thing because I love not knowing that she was actually a monster. I had no idea.
Right. Yeah.
I thought I went through the movie thinking that his parents were actually the monsters and that they had locked his sister in the wall and that it was up to him to get her out.
Yep. I thought that too. I thought that same thing. Yep.
Man.
Yeah.
And the movie is so nice and misleading at the beginning because it's like a movie where you hear bumps in the night. What is that noise? Oh, you hear a voice. There's something that bulges the wall out.
Yep. Yep.
Again, reinforces my idea that the sister could have gotten out a lot easier without Peter's help.
Yeah, that's true with bulging the wall.
But I liked that served as a misdirect because it reminded me of like Nightmare on Elm Street. So it served as a misdirect that there was something supernatural going on.
True.
When there really wasn't.
Right. That's true. But then, like you said, I mean, it makes it look, that is a good misdirect because you see that. And then when you see the parents start acting insane, like, oh, this is the movie. They're scary people that may have taken that little girl and put her down in that cave or whatever, you know, the girl that went missing. Like that was my thought. I was like, oh, okay, that's the movie. So it was good.
Yeah.
You're right. That was a good mislead.
Again, bringing up our friend Edward, he mentioned when he talked about it briefly, he said the movie was a little bit too predictable for him.
Wow.
And for me, it was not. I did not expect it, first of all, to go in the direction that it went. I was wondering even if the parents were his parents or if they were just people that kidnapped him as a baby or something, you know?
Oh, yep. That's good. Yeah, good point.
Because they were just so unhinged. It was great.
Right. Oh.
I had no idea that the last act of the movie was going to be this monster crawling around his house, massacring these home invaders.
Right. Which was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, I will say.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And man, I just did not know what this movie was going to be. And I loved that I didn't know.
I'm with you. I am too. I'm glad I went in this one not knowing anything. Yeah, definitely added to the experience. I'll say that for sure.
I also loved. Okay, so I'm going to start calling her Sarah because we find out near the end of the movie that her name is Sarah because he sees the teddy bear.
Right. Yep.
Where they kept her locked up. And the teddy bear has a name tag on it that says Sarah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a creepy teddy bear.
It was a creepy teddy bear. But I wonder if she made the teddy bear that way. I don't know.
Oh, I like that.
You never know. Or if the parents just did it to torture her.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
this is what you look
gosh.
like, you know?
That's really sad.
Well, they hated
Oh.
her.
Yeah, I know, but that's oh gosh, dude.
So what was I about to say? Sarah, I questioned her walking on walls, sure. But
Right.
I also loved it. There's the point where the one kid is destroying the piano. And
Yes.
the first time I didn't notice right away. I didn't notice until she actually moved. But the second time I watched it, yes, she is sitting there on the wall the entire time that he's busting up the piano.
I noticed it immediately. Like
Oh, you
right when it
did?
cuts to it, I was like, guys, look at the wall. And like it cuts real quick, and they're like, we didn't see anything. And I rewound it. I was like, nope, look at the back. And you see her standing there, and I was like,
Well, she's mostly in shadow, and it reminds me
She
of a
is.
movie we did recently.
That was exactly my thought. Yep.
But then she starts walking, and yes, some of the kills are a little ridiculous. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, the kid that gets pulled under the piano, and then there's just suddenly a huge splash of blood, and I'm like, what did that come from?
What did she do?
But okay,
Yeah.
leave it to my imagination, I guess.
Yep.
And then the sudden beheading. I'm like, really? Like,
Yeah.
are her claws that long and sharp? Really?
Yeah, but you go with it, man. I was like, all right, this is just anarchy, and it's fun to watch.
Absolutely. I loved how they used, for the most part, I loved how they used shadows in the house. There's a part where after the mom realizes she's been poisoned, that she picks up the knife in the kitchen, but you don't see her pick up the knife. You see her shadow pick up the knife.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just such a deliberate shadow.
Yes.
There's one part where you see the shadow of the sister spider crawling in the doorway.
Yes. Yep.
And that looked a little CG.
Yep. I thought the same thing. I had that same thought while watching that.
But every other shadow looked great. And I loved the use of her long hair.
Yes. Agreed. Anytime when you see it, you just see a glimpse of it, and then something happens, and I was like, that's cool. Like it's it's foreshadowing what's gonna happen next. You know, you see the hair and you go, uh-oh. It was cool. It was really
they
done.
used it as a tool, and it was great. Of course, with me, the fact that spiders were living in that hair was even more horrifying to me, because I don't like spiders.
I know, buddy.
Honestly, as much as I hate spiders, here's the thing. I have a few fears, a few horror movie fears, we'll say.
Yeah.
And besides the stuff we've talked about, things that bump in the night, the legitimate fears.
Right.
The other things I don't like are hypodermic needles and spiders, namely Black Widow and other poisonous spiders.
Yeah.
But I just don't like spiders, period. I don't really want to see a movie that is all about hypodermic needles.
Right.
But I relish movies about spiders.
Nice. Okay. I like that.
I remember watching Arachnophobia with you. And
I remember it too.
that movie has always been one that makes me squirm, even though I love it. And when I saw the spider on his desk near the beginning of this movie, I was kind of hoping that this movie was about spiders.
Yeah.
And
they play a little part.
They play a little part. But even though it's not about spiders, I like the way that they're incorporated in the movie.
I did too. It was creepy. It was really creepy. And even the moment the little bully, I don't know his name, but the blonde kid, that gets his leg broken, when he looks up and you just see the spiders fall, I was like, ugh. I think we all did that at that point. Like when we were watching, we're just like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When the spiders are falling on him and stuff.
Yeah. Gross.
I wrote his name down and now I can't find it.
I have IMDb. I have IMDb. Brian.
Yes, Brian. Thank you.
Yep. B. Ryan.
B. Ryan.
B. Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, I hated him.
Yeah. He actually played it well though. He played a little douche.
Yeah. He played a good little bully.
Yep.
And it was written well, that part, because it was a little kid who was a bully and you just felt like he was being a bully to be popular.
Right. Yep.
Beating up on the easiest target. Then you find out near the end of the movie that it's all because his brothers are probably bullies too.
And possibly psychopaths. I mean, that was pretty extreme to do that. Like, that's pretty extreme.
Yeah. Who knows what they were actually there to do?
Right.
If they were actually going to hurt somebody, maybe break Peter's leg or something. I don't think they would
Right.
have killed anybody, but
Yeah. I can just imagine though, Peter's dad, Antony Starr, what he would have done had he been alive and not poisoned.
yeah.
Which I did love the poison scene too. I wanted to bring that up. Because
That's what I was going to talk about next.
Oh, okay. I thought it was good. I loved that because I should have caught it too, that it would be used later. But when they're first looking at the poison, he says it smells like cinnamon. You know,
Yeah.
and I was like, I should have been like, oh, duh, of course that will be used later. But I just went, okay, cool, cinnamon poison.
I felt the same way. And
Really?
when they're sitting at the dinner table, it even took me a moment to realize, wait a second, he's not eating his food and they're both eating it. And then you're just waiting for the dad to say that it tastes like cinnamon.
Yep, exactly. And he does.
And it's so good. And his death was so good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. It was pretty awesome. I like both their deaths. I thought they were dark, but
absolutely. And it's great because up until that moment, the movie is not really a gory, bloody movie.
No, not at all.
It's another type of movie, and you don't really think about the gore aspect of it unless somebody has told you, hey, this movie's gory.
Right.
But then all of a sudden that happens and you're like, whoa, this movie just changed.
It was a lot of puke, a lot of vomit, blood.
black, red vomit.
Yeah. That's pretty gnarly.
That was really good. Really
good. Yeah.
Yeah. What else, man?
Honestly, I feel like that's all. I'm going through two.
I did one note I have.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the part where Mark, the dad, tells Peter that when he comes home, they're going to do something, and it's to go out into the pumpkin patch.
Right.
And he says that they got to get rid of the bad pumpkins because there's a blight and it's killing a lot of the pumpkins. And I love the implication of when he's saying that they got to dig up the bad pumpkins and hopefully the next crop will be better. And see, that just totally adds. You have no idea if they're actually going to kill Peter.
That's true.
But that's the implication because Peter knows about the sister and they killed the little girl because she knows.
That's a good point, dude.
So are they just going to kill Peter and then hope that the next child that they have is good? That's psychotic.
No, yeah, it's always horrifying, but that's a great line. And I was thinking too, like Peter murdered his parents. He poisoned them to death. But now I was thinking about it and I was like, he's going to get in trouble. But then I was like, however, I mean, they had him chained up, well, kind of, in the basement. I mean, there's a lot of messed up stuff in that house where they might go, okay, we don't know the whole story here.
Yeah.
You know.
Especially when they find the sister.
Yeah.
When they find Sarah.
Or even the girl out in the pumpkin patch, because they're going to look everywhere for everything. You know,
the dad had dug up a big hole in the pumpkin patch.
Right.
He got rid of the body.
That's right.
Or the skeleton.
Right.
And there's the other implication because there's 3 skeletons that they show.
Right.
Yeah. There's a point where right before that moment, they show 3 skeletons standing next to a house with like gauze around them, looking like they're dressed up for Halloween. And my thought was like, oh my God, are those real skeletons that they made to look like Halloween decorations?
That's awesome. Yikes.
I loved that.
That's fun. Yeah. Is Peter even their kid then? Like, or we don't know enough of his. Oh man, there's a lot you could go with on this. I think
Peter is their child.
Okay.
I think Peter is their child and they were very happy with Peter.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, they kept the sister locked in the walls, did not want Peter to find out.
Right.
Which, yeah, there are a lot of holes in that plot.
Right. Yeah.
But when Peter did start to question it, they freaked out. They weren't prepared for it because they're kind of stupid. They're kind of crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And their only thought when Peter does confirm that he knows that there is a girl in the wall and that it's his sister, their first thought is we need to kill both of them and have another baby and hope that this one's better. And the skeletons, maybe, I don't even know if that was the little girl's skeleton. It may not have been. They may have just been showing Halloween decorations.
Right. But I like
it was just a thought. But he definitely dug up the little girl because once Carol, the mom, saw Peter in the backyard with a pumpkin, she had a thought, but then Peter was just held up the pumpkin. I thought we could make a jack-o'-lantern, and that was really cute and perfect.
That was, yeah.
But once she knew that Peter knew
Mhm.
the sister was in the wall, she probably knew that Peter had found the skeleton.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
So Peter knew everything. They had to kill him.
Yep. Jesus.
So he
Starr.
killed them first.
Yeah. I mean, dog eat dog world, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I say
Yeah.
maybe in a sequel, they think that they realize that the mutation killed everybody in the house.
Right. Right.
Maybe that's what Peter tells them.
Right.
So
Exactly.
they lock her up, but somehow she gets free and Peter's got to deal with her again. But how are they going to get her in the walls and all that? Who knows?
Yeah.
Or maybe Cleopatra Coleman takes Peter in, but now Cleopatra Coleman also has a girl that she locked in her walls.
Oh my gosh. It's a town thing.
It's a whole town thing. Everybody's got a girl in the walls. Cobweb 3, Cobweb 4.
Oh,
You ready for 3 questions?
let's do it, man.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
All right, buddy. What was the best death/kill in Cobweb?
That's kind of a tough one because a lot of the kills you don't really see, but I'm going to go with Mark, his dad.
Nice. Yeah.
I thought that was the best one. I would love to have gone with some of Sarah's kills of the bullies, but you just don't see enough of them.
Right. That's true.
The decapitation happens off screen. The blood splashing out from under the piano comes from something that happens off screen.
Right.
Yeah, so I think Mark.
So I cheated then because I used one of her kills for my
it's fine.
favorite. No, I loved the kid getting decapitated because he's getting pushed in the wall. So we see it from Peter's eyesight, kind of, where it's down the hallway, and we see the kid kind of push in the wall and then pop back out. Pushed in the wall, pop back out. And the third time he's pushed and he has no head. And I was like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And then he stumbles in and falls to the ground. I loved it. I was like, whoa, that caught me off guard. So I thought it was fun.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, man. All right, buddy. I'm curious about this one. Was this movie scary?
I was filled with tension.
Yeah.
I did watch this movie with headphones on at night with the lights out. I wasn't that scared. It didn't stick with me. That's fine. I felt tension in the right places, and I felt that this movie could definitely be scary to somebody else who is more prone to this type of scares. So yes, I think it could be scary. Personally, not for me.
Right.
But I'm also glad that the movie didn't seem to resort to too many. Actually, I don't remember any cheap jump scares.
Agreed. Which was nice. That was a nice change of pace.
What about you?
Ditto. Everything you just said. Yes. There was tension. I can see how people could get scared of it, but this one definitely didn't stick with me.
I would actually say for you, going back to what you said near the start of the episode, even less scare, because you said once you saw her face, it kind of took a lot of the fear away from you.
Yep, for sure.
So, okay.
All right, buddy. I think I know the answer, but did you have fun with horror?
Yes, I love this movie. I will watch it again. I don't know if it'll be a regular Halloween viewing, but I absolutely adored this movie. And I hope that there's sequels. I hope Samuel Bodin does them. I hope he gets the same composer and cinematographer. Yeah. And I'd love to talk to Samuel Bodin and find out why she can walk on walls. What about you?
I did have fun with this movie. We already talked about my quibbles and gripes, but overall I did have fun with this. And it really was a good, because like we talked about, August is a kind of a good way to start the spooky season. This was a good one for August to start things off, I think. So good choice.
I absolutely agree.
Yay.
Cobweb.
Cobweb.
What is that?
What?
The noise. The banging.
The washing machine.
Andrew.
Scotty.
What's our next episode?
I don't know, but I feel like a good friend of ours might know what we're watching next.
Wait, not what movie. What is our next episode, man?
Oh,
it's a big one.
Movie. It's episode 100.
Oh my God.
It's a big episode.
I was going to say before our friend starts talking here.
Yeah.
This is a long time coming.
Yes.
When I met you, you were working at a coffee shop in Los Angeles.
Correct.
And I met This person, this man, this beautiful human being, I actually met before you, slightly before you. His name is JD, and we've been wanting to have him on for a long time because
I know.
you used to live with this guy.
Yeah, dude.
Which is still crazy to think about. Because when I met you, you were living by yourself in a tiny little studio, the size of a closet.
Yeah.
But anyway, so JD, we've been wanting him on the show, and we thought, what better episode to have him on than episode number 100.
Yeah, man.
JD is also a huge fan of horror movies like we are. And we also gave JD the option to pick what movie we're going to watch for episode 100, and he chose. JD, hi.
Hello. It's such a gleeful pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
We love having you.
Yes,
this is
absolutely.
we're both wanting to rip off our clothes right now because it's so exciting.
We're giddy.
Well, Andrew already has, and I keep telling you guys you need to and share the videos already.
See, that's funny because you think he ripped off his clothes, but he's actually wearing one of those shirts that has like a hairy chest and nipples on it, so that looks like he's got his shirt off.
Yeah, that's not mine.
That's a real nice shirt.
JD, what movie did you pick for us to watch on our 100th episode? And then maybe tell us why you even picked it.
Well, I am a massive horror fan, and especially the werewolf genre. I believe, there's the genre itself is fun because it's not super unwieldy as far as quality movies to watch. It's a genre that you can kind of tackle if you want to watch quality ones. But one that kind of sort of fell beneath the radar is a Canadian movie from the early 2000s called Ginger Snaps. I was very pleasantly surprised that neither of you had seen it. So that is the choice. Ginger Snaps.
Awesome.
Woo!
Now, let's go behind the scenes for a second here because this is kind of funny to me. Not to you guys yet, but
okay.
When we first asked JD to be on episode 100 and to pick a movie, we had the rule in place that it had to be a movie we'd never seen.
Right.
Once Andrew and I decided that we were going to get rid of that rule and it could be any movie, whether we've seen it or not, I told JD and I said, hey, would you like to pick a different movie? And he said, yes, I would. But before then, he had picked a movie called Howl that nobody had ever heard of. I think I'm still the only person of the three of us that actually watched Howl.
No. Yes. I have not seen it.
No, I have not either.
It is quite a movie, my friends.
Is that the train one?
It is the train one.
Okay. Well, the trailer looked kind of good.
It was okay. I felt like the people that made it thought to themselves, let's make a movie that's kind of like Train to Busan, but has werewolves instead of zombies.
Oh,
so
okay. Cool.
But thank you. You've picked Ginger Snaps.
Yay.
Indeed.
We will be back for episode 100 in 2 weeks.
Yes.
To talk about Ginger Snaps with JD.
Yay.
So
I'm looking forward to it, guys.
Thank you, JD. And thank you for just jumping in for the end of this episode. It's just beautiful. It makes me weep openly.
I know.
Well, it's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Everybody, thank you for listening.
Yes,
especially
thank you, everyone.
Especially thank you for putting up with Andrew, who was tired this episode. Just kidding. He was wonderful. See?
Oh, stop.
Your energy picked right up when we started talking about the movie.
It did. I know. It really did. I was about ready to fall asleep, and then that's what horror movies do, people. They wake you up.
Behind the scenes, Andrew actually did fall asleep while we were talking, but I edited that out. So, but anyway,
everything that he's using right now is just previous recordings pieced together.
Yes.
Hi, you guys have such fun with horror.
We do. And JD, you actually listen to our podcast. You're one of our fans and listeners. When I love that.
Damn right I am.
Aww.
So yeah, JD actually, when he goes to work, he says he puts on our YouTube channel and listens to us on YouTube while he's working, and I love that.
Aw, that's awesome, man.
But everybody else out there, we're on social media. You can find us on all of them now. That includes Blue Sky and Threads, whatever, everything. Just look for Fun with Horror Podcast. Also, as always, if you'd like to do us a big favor, leave us a nice review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whatever you listen to. It would really help us get out there and get more people listening to us. And especially with episode 100 happening, that would just be the best gift of all. So, Andrew, I love you.
Scotty, I love you.
JD, I love you.
Scotty, you're all right. Andrew, I love you so much.
I love you, JD.
Damn it. All right. Well, I guess bye.
Scotty, I love you.
I love you too. Yay, bye.
Every creak, every groan, every tap in the wall, you'll think of me. Your family, Peter.